Hey everyone, it's Atika. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm going to be telling you all the story of when I found out that I was pregnant. It is one of my favorite stories, but I also think it's kind of a crazy story as well, considering the doctor told me that I was not pregnant. So let's get right into the video. So it started off as this normal day at work. I went to work. I was checking people out. I worked at a boutique, so I was just cashing people out, that type of thing. Super basic, nothing invigorating, yada, yada, yada. All of a sudden, I start to feel incredibly hot, like unusually hot, like from the inside out. Like I know what it's like to be hot and be like, ooh, I gotta take off my sweater. But this was a different type of hot. It's like I was heating from the inside out. It's what I would describe as a hot flash if I knew what exactly those felt like, you know what I mean? So I would describe it as, oh my goodness, I'm having a hot flash right now because I can't like get cooled down. And so I asked one of the girls who was working in the back if she could cover for me for a second because I needed to go to the bathroom. And so I went to the restroom, she covered for me, and I just took off all of my clothes because I was like, I am so hot right now and I feel like I'm going to pass out. So I took off all my clothes and I just stood there for a second in the bathroom, and then I was like, okay, I need to get back to work. I can't just be in the bathroom, you know, during my shift. And so I hurried up, put my clothes back on, and then went back out. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just like really, really hot. And she was like, oh, okay, it normally is pretty hot up here. And I was like, yeah. So she left and I just could not shake this hot feeling. I started to shake, like visibly shaking. And when I was checking out a customer, I was like, she's gonna think that I'm like on drugs or something, because I was like shaking, putting her stuff in the bag. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I felt so bad. But I ended up checking her out. And then after that, when I just could not shake the hotness and the shakiness, I called up one of the managers and I was like, hey, I think I need to go to the emergency room because this is abnormal for me. Like this does not happen to me. I've never ever felt this way before. And I was like shaking, and she could see that I was shaking. And she was like, okay, do you like want to call someone? And I was like, I've called my mother-in-law already, because I had already texted her and told her that I needed her to pick me up from work because I could not drive either. So she came and she picked me up from work and she took me to urgent care. So when we went to urgent care, they, you know, check you in as normal and, you know, you write down your information and stuff. So then they asked me, they're like, what have you eaten today? And so I told them what I ate today. And they were like, is there a chance that you could be pregnant? And I was like, well, yeah, like I'm married, and yeah, there's a possibility that I could be because I'm not on any birth control or anything like that. They took me back and he checked my blood sugar and that came back completely normal. And then they took the pregnancy test and it came back negative. And so he comes and he's like, and while we're sitting in the waiting room, by that point, my husband has already left work and he's there with us now. My mother-in-law has left. And so at this point, the doctor's like, you know, you're not pregnant, your blood sugar isn't high. There's a lot of stuff going around right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe you're just fighting something and we just don't know what it is, but you could just have like a common virus or something that's going on right now. And I looked at him and I was like, are you sure I'm not pregnant? Because before the doctor even came in, I was talking to my husband and I was like, babe, I just really feel like it's pregnancy. Like, because this is just weird. My body does not do weird stuff like this. And I know what it's like to have anxiety. I know what it's like to just be hot. I was like, this is just abnormal for me. I was like, I really do think that I'm pregnant. I just had this feeling, like this strong feeling that I was pregnant. Doctor comes in and he's like, sugar's fine, urine's negative, like you're not pregnant. And I looked at him and I was like, are you sure I'm not pregnant? And he was like, oh, trust me, if you were pregnant, you'd be pregnant. Like, and I was like, that makes no sense. What? So I was very confused when he said that because biologically, that's not how that works. You know what I mean? Like, you can be pregnant, but it's not showing up in your urine yet. And so when he said that to me, I was like, it could just be too early to detect pregnancy. So I was like, okay, all right. So we ended up leaving urgent care, and I told my husband, we got home and I was like, babe, I'm not crazy. Like, I told him, I was like, this isn't an anxiety attack, you know, like I know what it's like to be anxious and have panic attacks. I've suffered from it for so long. And I was like, this is just abnormal for me. Like, I know my body. And I was like, babe, I'm not crazy. And he was like, I believe you. Like, I don't think that you're crazy, babe. The days go on and I am determined. As I near starting my cycle, I was determined to take a pregnancy test, like 6 days leading up to my pregnancy, because I think that's the earliest that you can take a pregnancy test. So right on the 6th day, I was like, I'm taking this. So I took it and it came back negative. So I was like, dang it. And I was like, I started to really feel like I was going insane. I was like, this is just so abnormal for me. I ended up taking a test like 3 days leading up to my period, and it came back negative. So then I took one the day before I was supposed to start my period, and that is when it finally came back positive. And I was like, I freaking knew it. I knew that I was pregnant. And I just thought that was so wild that the doctor was like, oh no, trust me, if you were pregnant, you'd be pregnant. And it's like, sir, that's not how that works. I wanted to keep this story super, super short, but I wanted to share the experience of when I found out that I was pregnant. You know, Taylor and I joke even to this day. He's like, babe, you should go back there with a positive pregnancy test and be like, you were wrong. And I was like, that would be hilarious if I did that. I hope that you all enjoyed this short story time. I just wanted to share what happened before I found out that I was pregnant, because that was an unusual early sign of pregnancy symptom. I've seen like one other woman say that she had that symptom as well. So hot flashes was a thing before I found out that I was pregnant. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and hit that big red subscribe button and turn on post bell notifications so that you get notified every time that we upload a video. Thank you all so much for watching us along this journey. I pray that you have an amazing day, night, evening, morning, wherever it is you are, and know that Jesus loves you. Bye.